Most travelers think airline refunds are simple. Your flight's delayed, something goes wrong, so the airline must owe you your money back, right? Not exactly. In reality, refunds depend on how long the delay is, who cancels the flight, and what you do next. And that's true whether you're flying in the United States or Europe. In this video, I'll explain when you're entitled to a refund, when you're not, and the single biggest mistake that costs travelers hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. Refund rules aren't confusing because airlines hide them. They're confusing because most people mix up three different things: refunds, rebooking, compensation. Airlines treat these as completely separate systems. Passengers usually don't. And that confusion is exactly where people lose money. So, before we talk about rules, we need to separate these clearly. A refund means your unused ticket is returned to your original payment method. A rebooking means the airline puts you on another flight, usually at no extra cost. Compensation is additional money paid on top of your ticket price, and this depends on where you're flying and why the disruption happened. These are not the same thing, and getting one does not automatically mean you're entitled to the others. The universal rule, US and EU. There is one rule that applies both in the United States and Europe. If the airline cancels your flight, you are entitled to a refund if you choose not to travel. This applies even on non-refundable tickets, even if the cancellation is due to weather, even if the airline offers rebooking. A refund means the unused portion of your ticket goes back to your original payment method. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. This is the mistake that costs people the most money. When a flight is delayed or looks like it might be cancelled, travelers panic and cancel the booking themselves. The moment you cancel, the airline no longer owes you a refund. Your ticket becomes subject to fare rules. Non-refundable usually means exactly that. Always wait for the airline to make the move, even if the delay is long, even if the situation looks hopeless. Once the airline officially cancels or offers you the option not to travel, your refund rights are protected. This is where most frustration comes from. A delay alone does not automatically mean a refund, unless it becomes significant or the airline gives you the option not to travel. That nuance matters. Short delays usually lead to rebooking, meal vouchers, hotel accommodation. But not refunds. Longer delays are treated very differently, especially in the United States. This is where many people get outdated information. Under current US Department of Transportation enforcement, airlines must offer automatic refunds when a delay is considered significant, if the passenger chooses not to travel. What counts as significant? Airlines define it individually. Often around 3 hours or more for domestic flights. Longer for international flights. The key point is this: if a delay is long enough and you decide not to take the flight, you can choose a cash refund instead of rebooking. This applies even if the flight is not officially cancelled, the cause is weather or air traffic control. Many travelers don't realize this and accept rebooking without knowing they had another option. Europe works differently, and this is where confusion really starts. Under EU regulation EC 261, refunds apply when you don't travel. Compensation applies when you do travel but arrive significantly late. Compensation depends on length of the delay, flight distance, whether the airline was responsible. Weather and air traffic control issues usually do not qualify for compensation, but you may still be entitled to rebooking, care, or a refund if the flight is cancelled or you choose not to travel. Refunds and compensation are separate rights. This is the hardest truth for most travelers. Weather delays, air traffic control issues, airport closures. These are considered outside the airline's control in both the US and the EU. That means compensation is usually not owed. Refunds apply only if you don't travel. Rebooking and assistance still apply. This is why airlines often help, but don't automatically refund during major disruptions. When something goes wrong, airlines often push rebooking immediately. That can be helpful, especially if you still need to get to your destination. But once you accept rebooking, you usually give up the right to a refund for that ticket. So, always pause and ask yourself, do I still want to travel? Or would I rather take the money back and make other plans? There's no universal right answer, but it should be a conscious decision. Here's the simple checklist that protects your money no matter where you're flying. 1. Do not cancel the booking yourself. 2. Wait for official airline communication. 3. Screenshot delay and cancellation notices. 4. Ask about refund eligibility in writing. 5. Decide before accepting rebooking. Documentation matters more than most people realize. If you book through a platform instead of directly with the airline, refunds can feel more complicated, but your rights don't disappear. The airline still controls the flight, the platform helps with logistics. Tools like Kiwi can be useful during disruptions, especially when comparing alternative routes quickly if flights sell out. Just remember, refund rules come from the airline, not the booking site. During disruptions, having internet access matters, especially when rebooking, contacting airlines, or checking alternatives. I personally use Saily when traveling internationally because it works without swapping SIM cards or dealing with roaming issues. I've linked it below if you want to check coverage for your destination. Airline refunds aren't about fairness. They're about rules and knowing how to use them. Once you understand those rules, you're far less likely to lose money when something goes wrong. If this breakdown helped you, give the video a like. It helps more travelers avoid expensive mistakes. And if you want more clear, no-nonsense explanations about flights, airline rules, and travel rights, consider subscribing. That's exactly what this channel is about. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever dealt with a long delay or cancellation? And did you get your money back?